Welcome to episode 4 of Office Hours with yours truly in partnership with The Loft. Today I have something special. First, it's a different format. I'm not the only one speaking. I have 2 guests with me who I will introduce shortly. And I'm not wearing a t-shirt. The guests are wearing a t-shirt. We're trying to mix it up a little bit. Anyways, I have the 2 co-founders of Nextgate Tech, a Luxembourg startup that is selling to the fund services industry and funds in general, with a very neat proposition that they will tell you about in a little minute. I have the CEO and co-founder of Nextgate, Davide, and the CTO and co-founder of Nextgate, Semin. Very, very happy. Full disclosure, MiddleGame Ventures has invested in Nextgate, which is why I was able to force them to come and speak with me. As you can see, they're not very happy with that. In any case, I'd like for Davide to introduce himself.
So, very happy to be here. And I am Davide Martucci. Prior to Nextgate Tech, I started my career as a portfolio manager, working for UBS. So I am Swiss. Started to work for UBS in Switzerland, managing mainly money for single-family offices. And in 2015, I had the chance to come in Luxembourg to set up the investment division for a single-family office. And this is when I discovered the fund industry and when the idea of Nextgate Tech started to raise in our mind, and when I met Semin as well.
Semin?
So my name is Semin Ibisevic, CTO and co-founder of Nextgate Tech. Prior to Nextgate Tech, or actually how I started my career, was as well in asset management, and particularly for Aegon Asset Management in the Netherlands. I worked before as well at Euronext and as well when I met Davide in the previous company as a technology lead and quantitative strategist. So I'm always had a little bit of a technical background mixed with some mathematical sciences.
Very good. Either of you, tell us in like a minute or less what Nextgate does.
So Nextgate is a SaaS. So we provide a SaaS solution for the fund industry, mainly for asset manager and services provider in the fund industry. And the main goal of Nextgate Tech is to provide data management, so harmonization of all the data that are around the fund industry, and automation. So automation of all the processes that are in the operation of the fund industry, which are highly manual nowadays, mainly using Excel spreadsheet. So what we do is enhancing all the process thanks to technology.
Great, thank you. All right, I'm going to take you through some of the things that we look at as venture capital investors. I certainly do when we look at a startup and we look at a team, right? We prefer when we have 2 co-founders rather than 1. And we prefer that one of the co-founders knows the business and is on the business side and the strategy and the client side, and the other co-founder is on the technology side. That's just our preference. Over years and years of like trials and tribulations and errors and successes, 2 co-founders, 1 tech and 1 business is the best construct when we look at the early stage startup. So that's all good and well, but why is that the case? And that's why I have Semin and I have Davide, because I want to explore their experience as those 2 co-founders, one on the tech side and one on the business side, and what makes them better, right? What makes 1 + 1 = 3, so that I can showcase and explain why I am looking at these attributes. So first, maybe, how do you complement the other, and what makes you a better person when you're working with your co-founder? I'd like for the 2 of you to answer, but whoever wants to start.
I mean, in the end, it boils down to the complementation, right, of each other's skills. So we have, I'm very technical orientated. It means that I can put my full focus on the technology of the product and come out from the technical point of view, whereas Davide is very more business orientated, strategy orientated. And if you put that together, you can challenge each other all the time on, okay, well, if there's something from the business coming that is maybe technically not feasible, I can challenge that, or another way, even if something comes from the business, what's the best way to do that technically? And I think that kind of counterplays all the time. So we have all the time kind of a challenge and cooperation as well together. And in that way, you get a better outcome.
Davide?
Yes, complementary and trust. I think this is as well key. We trust each other. I mean, I trust completely Semin on the entire technology part, which make possible for me to really focus on all the other aspects of the company. So the business, the client, the strategy, and this is really making a huge difference because I don't have to worry about the technology aspect. I know that Semin has completely handled that with the teams, and I am, in a very pleasant situation where I can fully focus on my part.
I like what I heard, and Semin said a couple of things here, which make me think that with two different profiles, one tech and one business, there's like some type of a creative tension that occurs, right? And I think that you use the word. I'll push back when, from a technology point of view, something is not feasible or not the best. In other words, and tell me the two of you if I'm wrong here. In other words, you don't have the business or the sales aspect that is dominant, right, and dominates the tech aspect, and vice versa. The tech aspect and the technology doesn't dominate, which means that you indeed find like the best path in the. It might not be immediately in the middle, but the best path that takes into account those two aspects. Is that the way that you work and that you iterate on looking at your product and getting feedback from clients?
Yes, particularly at the beginning. I think that this was the case when we came with the idea, when we started to work on the product and the technology. The fact of having this complementarity and full trust on each other make possible to have this interaction where I come with an idea and then Semin says, yeah, okay, this should be done like that, and then the idea change, or Semin come with an idea which is more technology and then it will be changed because of the clients or because of the need of the market. So yeah, there is this creation process which is, I think, easier because we are two with complementary skills.
True, and as you said, just to add on that point, is that you don't have that the product becomes technology driven or the product doesn't become business driven. You get kind of the best in between.
That's interesting. And I thought that things were actually one way in terms of technology gives its feedback, or the technologies gives its his feedback or her feedback as to whether something is feasible or not. But actually you're saying, and you also just said that the technologists, in this case you, come out and say, oh, well, why don't we do this or that from a commercial point of view. In other words, it's really cross-pollination between the technology and the business. Is that what I heard correctly?
Yes, and because as well the uniqueness of the skills of Semin, which are not only technology. Semin knows very, very well financial world as well, so can come with a really concrete idea on how apply the technology on the financial industry. And I think I have a vague idea of technology and a bit of the methodologies. So when I come with something, so there is really a point where we meet, kind of a center point that we found over the years, and that allow us to create this synergy on the product. But of course, Semin very often come with ideas that are the starting point of the product.
That is very cool. I didn't realize that. All right, so it's all good and well, and you said particularly at the beginning, i.e. there's complementarity at the beginning, but when there's a beginning, there's like a middle part of the story, and the middle part of the story grows, which means that the startup grows, right? So you started with like the two of you and a couple of people, but now you're more than a couple of people. Mm-hmm. How, when you add various people, a product manager, a director of finance, various people in sales, way more people in engineering. How do you keep that interplay between the two of you? Because it's not only the two of you anymore, and you have people on the business side and people on the technology side, that work for you. So get me through a little bit your process to keep that creative tension between the two of you.
Well, I mean, it starts already from, when you have multiple people, that means that you can trust other people as well to be specialized in certain items. So if you think about the tech team, we have like quants, we have software engineers, we have financial engineers, and them by themselves, they have actually a different profile. So you're already gonna have to create synergy and complementarity between them. So you're gonna get that the tech already creates more synergy inside, and then of course it goes up, and then we get to the business side through Davide as well as other people that are involved. Yeah. So I think you get more profiles and more complementarity.
Yes, actually is thanks to the team and the amazing skills that we have been lucky to have in the company. It increases even more this synergy and this interaction, because Semin is completely handling all the technology parts. So all the quantitative developer and data scientists work with him. And of course we create bridges between technology and other people as well in the business, but it stays as well to leverage the entire creation so that we can continue to have this interaction. But before I said at the beginning was really like we were sitting down in a room, and then for one day or one night coming with idea to enhancing the product and the technology. Now it has to be a bit more structured, because there are client feedback that we need to take into consideration, of course, to enhance the technology and answer their needs. And this is other input that come in the discussion that we have. So I don't think is something that is altering in a bad way the interaction. Is more expanding or giving more input. Thanks to the people that are in the discussion. So we have other people, we have other skills as well that we take into the process and into the discussion. And thanks to all our external input from clients and regulation and all other input in the product evolution.
I would say it amplifies, in the end, the final conclusion, it amplifies the synergy even more. At a level that us together we would not been able to achieve.
Yes.
So basically creating that creative tension that you had between the two of you with various individuals and groups within the organization as the organization grows.
Absolutely.
So as to keep that dialogue between the pure tech part and the pure business part. I like it. All right. One last question for the two of you. What is your advice? If there's one piece of advice or several pieces of advices for those new entrepreneurs?
I think that the first is to have complete trust. So to reach this level where you can trust the other in a way that the communication is completely transparent and free. And this I think, if you are not there, if you're not in a position where you can discuss everything in a very efficient way, I like to say that when we discuss, we don't fix meeting, we don't schedule meeting. It's very, very rare that we schedule a meeting. We said, okay, Semin and I, we have a one-on-one or something like that. It's more we go lunch, we go have a beer, we go. So it's really because it's efficient and transparent and direct, and we don't, and reaching that point, I think come with a lot of trust. So the first advice that I would give is reach this level of trust that open a communication which is fully transparent and not having kind of friction in the communication. Can happen, but it needs to be fully transparent.
So trust, organic relationship, every day, bit by bit. Right. Semin?
So what I would say is that try to put yourself in the mind of the other person, right? So when you're thinking of the best technological solution, try to understand what is it actually that Davide is thinking of, right? And that can give you sometimes to more better and efficient solutions. Maybe it's not that obvious. Maybe you think, okay, let's add a button here, but maybe why do you want to add that button there? What is the underlying idea? So ask, I think there's even a trick or something. Ask 5 times why. So why do you want that button? Then Davide answers, why do you want that button? Why? And you will get to the core foundation of what is the real reason why. And that's I think the kind of the interplay you're gonna have to create the best solution out there. Maybe the button is not the optimal, maybe there's something else.
Like it. So in a way, slightly different approach, but kind of like the same advice, which is more and more dialogue, more and more questions, getting to know one another better and better to get to that level of trust. And,
Absolutely, yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you very much, the two of you, for agreeing to this new format. I hope that everyone enjoyed it, and I'll look forward to the next episode with all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.